Okay, Santo, I've had a look at your draft. First thing I'm going to say is this is to appear on the Fox Sports website, and I'm thinking that it's in the section that's marked opinion. And if you look at this, I had a look at the Fox Sport website, and I want you to just have a look at the tone that is taken. So look at the title here, Simon Hill. So that's the journalist. Everyone wants expansion, and FFA can't turn back now it has dangled it. And he's got this very friendly tone here with this kind of language. You'd have to search pretty hard to find a football finance who doesn't want it, etc. And also look at the way it's laid out. I think the longest paragraph on this website is about 5 lines long, and you've got huge chunks of writing. Online websites, the layout is much shorter paragraphs than you have done. So you needed to have looked at this. You need to, okay. Yeah, so I want you to have another look at those articles, Santo, and really get an idea of the kind of language that they're using. This is why you were supposed to be annotating 3 articles and taking examples of the kind of language that they're using. So you've made a good effort here with your footballer for the future because you're using alliteration, but it's not quite there yet. The world's youngest prodigy. Well, what prodigy of what? Is he a piano player or is he a footballer? And you need to be checking out your possessive apostrophes because journalists don't make those kind of mistakes. Now, highlighted in red are all your grammatical errors, and it's going to be your responsibility to make sure that you go through and edit correctly. Now, again, reading this out loud would have immediately helped you spot these silly errors. So Kylian, I don't know how to pronounce it, Mbappe, at only 17 years of age, scoring against the world's best players in one of the best regarded leagues in international football. How does he do it, and will he be the next great player? That to me is not a really engaging hook. It's too long, it's not punctuated properly, and there's repetition. So you're going to need to go back and you've got to break it down. It's got to be interesting. And also look at the layout. Online doesn't lay out like this. You have the photograph there and you have the writing above and below it. You also need to make sure that you've got the caption under the photograph, but that will come when you're doing your visuals next week. Now, all journeys have a beginning. On December 20th, 1998, semicolon, don't know why you've got that there, Kylian Mbappe was born in his hometown of Paris. It's just not very interesting, Santo. Throughout his youth, well, he's only 17, so as far as I'm concerned, he is still a youth. Throughout his youth, he began his promising career at AS Bondy. Well, that's not throughout his youth. That's where he began his promising career. So you need to do quite a lot of editing, reading out loud, Santo. You've got to get a feel for the style of writing and a strong personal voice. You're the journalist. You're the authority here, but you need to keep me engaged. Silly things like you've repeated Paris, where his father coached him, his talents quickly rose, he was scouted academy. This is poor punctuation. This is incorrectly spelt. Football academies producing footballers. It's just too repetitive. And if you had actually bothered to read this out loud before you submitted it for drafting, this could have been a cake rather than 2 eggs and some flour chucked in a bowl and expecting me to work some magic. So read it through. This is a bit better. The indescribable talent and potential was eventually what? Eventually resulted in, not resulting. Now, it's not France's highest regarded clubs in AS Monaco, or the indescribable talent and potential of Kylian Mbappe eventually resulted in one of France's highest regarded clubs, AS Monaco, signing his first professional contract. Just reads a bit better. Now here you've got some good sort of authoritative evaluation and pinnacle of player development. That's much better. I want more of that kind of engaging language, the pinnacle of player development, internationally recognized superstars. Yep, that's getting better. And the icon he's commonly compared to. Can you think of something a bit more snappier than icon for Thierry Henry? Throughout his time, you stop saying throughout his time and continuously. It's repetitive and it doesn't work very well. Now, do sport journalists say nonetheless? I don't know. Go check it. And he spent at the club has most definitely set the foundations for what is. He's not a thing, he's a person. So it's who. Now, if you look at that article, the Fox article that I showed you, they have little questions. So he says here, all of which begs the obvious question, or the answer is nothing, or here, so what gives? So I want you to try and develop a little bit more of that. So here you've gone, who wanted Mbappe and why? That's just boring, Santo. So who wants? Remember, journalists write in present tense. So who wants Mbappe and why? Now your language is getting a little bit better. You seem to have warmed up a bit in this second half. The clubs are still racing after Mbappe's signature. So you just need to read this part out loud. There's no doubt, despite his... And again, you can abbreviate. Not there is no doubt. There's no doubt, despite his loan deal from AS Monaco to PSG in 2000, essentially resulting in a future 180 million transfer fee. Clubs are still racing for Mbappe's signature. And you need to make... Your sentences are too long. Online articles have shorter, punchier sentences because the attention span of their readers is very short. Indescribable hype, is getting better. Lies with the array of world-class managers. Now you're beginning to engage me, Santo. Now you're beginning to sound like a sports journalist. This is just a little bit clunky. Simply describing his talent as huge. One of the reasons surrounding the indescribable such lies with the array of world-class managers who describe his talent as quite simply huge. And not in similarity, it's similar. And compared him to a young Thierry Henry. Perhaps the fact that it was Arsene Wenger who said this is something that you should be focusing on, rather than just putting it in brackets afterwards. Throughout. Now, you've used throughout about 3 times already. So, Santo, stop. Now, what do you mean his timeless career? That means nothing to me. It's not a timeless career. It's a short career. Stellar career? Extraordinary career? I don't know. You think of a word. And again, continuously. What is it with you and continuously and throughout, Santo? They are your 2 favourite words. And you said again, attracted the attention. Just check if that's a repetition. So this is sounding a bit more convincing about the buyout. And this, you've just got to reread these. That's incorrect grammar. And again here, just make your little headlines a bit more engaging. And this is where you're moving into a little bit more. So you seem to have warmed up from about here. So, Santo, you've got quite a lot to do. Please go back to the Fox website, have another look at those articles, and you can use more colloquial language and just have a look at the layout, not these big blocks of text. Okay.